Rev Jens, Nick here. I'm going to talk about a very important topic, especially in insurance or other products. So let me adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. Doesn't matter what you sell. This is a really important thing, and every single salesperson needs to keep this in the back of their mind. What can I cross sell to these people? Always have that in the back of your mind. No matter what you sell, unless it's just one simple item, there's always something to cross sell or upsell. Always. And if you don't have an item to cross sell or upsell, get one. You're leaving money on the table. So how do we do that? So now I sell insurance. I sell Medicare, final expense, a little bit of hospital indemnity, dental plans, a couple other odds and ends in the insurance world. You don't need to know about those, but you need to understand that they all work together. And normally, they're always sold to the same people. So that's very important. The same group of people that buys final expense, buys Medicare, buys dental, buys hospital indemnity, they buy all the same things. Well, that's a great opportunity. If I'm sitting in front of Mr. and Mrs. Jones and I'm helping them with their final expense, it's completely reasonable for me to say, oh yeah, by the way, I also work in Medicare, or I also help people with dental, or I help people that worry about their hospital indemnity, or do you worry about cancer, heart failure, stroke, and vice versa. You can interchange them all throughout there. My point is, no matter what you sell, there's always an opportunity to cross sell or add a different upcharge or something to add to the package. And when I say the package, you always want to think in your sales as packages. Are you selling them one item or 5 items? And can they be added together? Normally, this will help the client immensely because they're going to have to buy this other item from somewhere else. Then they have to go through the process of meeting someone, liking them, going through the sales pitch, and the same yada yada thing. Imagine they can just come to you and get these couple items. They don't have to be stressed. You help them make a little bit easier transition. You make an easier transaction, you make a little more money, and all the items arrive normally at the same time. It's much smoother all the way around. People love this. It's very, very simple and very, very easy. Think of it like this. If you went to go to like a McDonald's or a Wendy's or an Arby's or any fast food place, imagine you go in and you order a burger. And then they tell you, yeah, we're really sorry. We only sell burgers. If you want fries, you have to go to the next fast food place and they specialize in fries. Then you get those fries from them and then go to the last place and buy your Coke, or soda or water or whatever you want to drink. You got to go to a place that specializes in that. That is terribly inconvenient. No one would ever do that. You buy your main meal, you go to Burger King, you get a burger, you get fries and a drink. They come together. Same idea with whatever you sell. So I deal with this all the time with folks that sell home improvements. They're always like, oh, if they're buying a deck or a fence, they're not going to want to buy the other right now. It's a big spend. Not true. They may want to buy a fence right now and a deck. They may want to buy a deck and a patio. They may want to buy a deck and a front door. Doesn't matter. If you offer it or can sell it, you should bring it up. How do we bring it up? Excellent question, Nick. God, I'm a fucking good student. Anyway, how do I bring that up? For example, let's use a roofing example. Just because I like home improvements, I'm gonna use a couple different examples. I'm gonna use one from insurance, like I did earlier. I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna go insurance, home improvements, and then I'll go into like a really oddball thing. So, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, obviously we helped you today. Looking at your final expenses, making sure all your pre-needs set up, having that taken care of for you. I really think it's great that you're getting this taken care of now because it's one of those things that it's an act of love. It's something that you're doing for someone else to let that burden be completely eliminated. And I'm glad that you trusted me with that. Now, before I get out of here, I just want to let you know that I also am an expert in Medicare, dental policies, not final expense, I would say dental policies, Medicare, and really focusing on people that worry about critical illness or long-term care. Has any of that stuff ever been addressed for you before? I know I always like to ask people this because it's very important that you know and trust the person you're talking to because it is a big confusing topic. It doesn't cost anything for me to go over that with you. If you got a second, let's take a look at, whatever. You could say your Take a look at whatever, your Medicare. Let's take a look at your long-term expense. Let's take a look at your other policies. Doesn't matter. Sometimes I even say, let me know, how much are you paying for your car insurance? I don't sell car insurance, but I know a guy that does. And if I can funnel that guy leads, guess what he's going to give me? Leads. He's going to give me help. I'm going to help him. He's going to help me. Very simple. Home improvements. So I like to use, I saw this was a really amazing thing that I saw a guy do. And I've used it in other videos, and it was absolutely outstanding. He knocked on my door. He said, "Hi there, sir. I heard your name is Nick, right?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm Nick. Yeah, how do you know me?" He goes, "I helped your neighbor down the street, yada, yada, yada. We are putting solar on their house." I said, "That's cool." He goes, "You know what else we're also doing? We're changing their roof, putting solar on it, and we're putting in a new air conditioner because their system's out of date. Their air conditioner was old, their roof was shot, and their power bill is outrageous. We're going to knock all those out for them in one day." And I was like, 1 day? And he was like, "Well, technically 2 days, but depending on the weather." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." Their house is not that big. So I was like, "All right, sure. 1 day, cool." Didn't sound believable, but all right. But I was intrigued. And literally, he walked around my house because I was interested. I was like, "All right, man, tell me what I got to do." And he's like, "Have you had solar before? You know anything about it?" Now, I know a lot about it. I've sold it. So I was like, "Yeah, let's hear your pitch." So we literally walked around the house. He said, "This is what I'd probably recommend. Let me do a quick illustration. Let me look at your air conditioner," which honestly, I have a brand new air conditioner. So he was like, "That looks brand new." And I was like, "It might be. It is." But he offered me anyway. He goes, "We offer, a great HVAC service, HVAC." And I was like, "That's cool." And he goes, "I also, we do roofs." And he's like, this. And I was like, "Yeah, man." After he walked me around once, I was like, "Look, man, I have a brand new roof. I'm not interested in solar, and I have a brand new HVAC." And he was just like, "Well, I'd still recommend solar, even if you got a small panel, just to cover up the charge that you're getting from your air conditioner." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You don't have to use you don't have to cover all your power, just a portion of it." So in one fell swoop, he went from starting at, a $70,000 sale for my roof, my solar, and my HVAC to dropping it down to just getting solar, to then when I said I'm not interested in solar, dropping it down to just covering my new HVAC. It was a very smooth transition. But all he kept doing was asking me questions about the various things in my house. And when I say that, I mean like this. He would go, "Wow, how's your house in the summer?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Is it really hot? Like how insulated is your home?" A lot of these homes that were built 25 years ago don't have the same insulation that they should have. I didn't even know this. He's setting me up because after I said no to the goddamn HVAC, he turned right around and said, "Well, you know what, Nick? It sounds like you actually need attic insulation." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "We pump insulation in between the roof and the attic into that crawl space. We fill it up. We make sure that no rats or bugs can get in there. We use a specialty pesticide foam that's safe for animals, bigger than 1 pound, but it's terrible for termites and everything else. And it'll insulate your house so when the sun beats down on your new roof that's nice and black, it's going to hold a lot of heat, but it's not going to heat up the rest of your house." I almost bought the insulation because it sounded so on point and the way this guy did it. I was like, "Wow, you sell a lot, don't you?" And he was like, he just kind of smiled, and I was like, "You probably hear it all the time, but I am not interested." And I'm not, but I was just like, wow, this guy was really, he had me going. I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. This guy's pretty good. And I gave him a few objections and he crushed them. Well, my point is, just by bringing up the conversation, asking questions about different things, it opens the door for you to cross-sell to them. So I've used that example before, but that guy was awesome. Last thing. So I'm going to use a software example. I don't know what I said earlier, but I'm going to focus on this because this is something that recently happened to me. So I use Salesforce. I don't get paid for any money by them. I love them. They do a great job for me. But everything you add or try to change to Salesforce costs you more money. And my Salesforce rep is really good at asking me questions about what I want my Salesforce to do. Every time he asks me a question, it feels like it turns into an additional charge. But I want to have the added features. So think of it in the sense of whatever you sell, ask questions about other products, other things that relate back to what you sell. So in the Salesforce example, this is a CRM. It manages my clients. It is incredibly important. But wouldn't it be great if I could automatically text them or automatically send them something or do a different workflow that allowed me to simplify or automate a process? And he would say, okay, that's an add-on from XYZ company. You got to add widget to do, or add this, or add, phone one or Vantage 3. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. He goes, it's an extra $25 a month, but now you can do this. And in my mind, I was like, okay, great. I need to do this, so add it on. That's an upcharge. It's literally a cross sell. It's the same kind of idea. You're just increasing the package that you're giving the people to increase their service and satisfaction. Keep that in mind. Always want to ask those questions around your product to add to the value that you're bringing. Get out there and sell something.